So, first of all, I want to say that I handed out our free book. We won in a contest yesterday in free books, so that's why you can have it for free. You don't have to give me money. And I didn't make a presentation because while I'm speaking, I'm going to look at my papers, and I thought you could maybe turn the pages in the book instead of looking at me, looking at my papers. So please go through the books, those of you who have, and please share if you sit by somebody who have a book. The book is the product of a cooperation between two schools, a school in Maine, USA, and a school in South Greenland. So everything starts from somewhere, and I should also say that I'm head of education at the Greenlandic Culinary School, just to point me somewhere. The American party of this project invited us to the US to see what food culinary schools look like in America, and we of course said thank you and went to America. And then we were presented to some ideas of how we could make student exchange programs, and it was all fine, but when we had traveled for a fortnight in the US, we also found out how difficult it was to get a visum, how difficult it was in expenses to travel from Greenland to the US and the other way. So quickly we had to say, okay, we're not gonna do traditional student exchange program here because we simply can't afford it with the funds and the money that we have in the schools to also fund an exchange program. So we sat on one of the last days in Alaska in the US and talked how to make a student exchange program with limited money and at the same time make a great learning impact to the students. So we were talking, thinking, and then we went the simple way. So we said, okay, to do it, we need to have good people, very good people, and we already met each other, so we agreed that we were good people. So we have to set a framework to make it happen, and we need to have a very good idea. So we were talking more, and then one said, and I know I'm not supposed to highlight that era in our time, new time, but we said to each other, for instance, what can we learn from the COVID era? Okay, so one thing that we could learn is that it's very boring to sit at home and learn and make school, but on the other hand, we found out that you can actually meet without meeting in a physical room. You can meet on Teams, etc. All these funny programs that can make people meet each other through the internet. Let's make the students meet through an online platform. And yeah, okay, maybe we were tired that day, but we all thought that that was a great idea. What should we meet about? Well, we should meet about our cultures, because they are very different. There is Greenlandic culture, which is based on indigenous and Danish culture mixed together. And then there's the American culture, which is mixed by indigenous culture and modern culture, Western culture as we know it, that comes from anywhere. So we said, yeah, well, that's the platform, that's the framework. We're going to meet at the internet, and we're going to present each other, and we're going to present each other's cultures, and we're going to do it through food making. So it was a give and take inspiration, give and take knowledge about each other, give and take knowledge about yourself, knowledge about foods, knowledge about culture, and hereby food culture. And then finally producing a new meaning to what we gave and what we took, and thereby present a learning process and hopefully create learning in the students. Yeah, so the framework and idea, let's meet online and let's make a cookbook that will tell stories about indigenous food from North America to South Greenland. And that is geographically a big area to cover, but anyways, let's try, because we can be close to each other through Teams, as our online platform was. Nevertheless, the learning from that had opportunity to create something that you could learn from yourself and something that you could learn from another person who you would not meet probably in another way. And most importantly was also that we won yesterday. I'm gonna do some thanks because I was surprised yesterday and I didn't really say thank you to anybody here. I'm gonna do that later on, but most importantly, we wanted the online, the non-physical meeting to result in something physical other than just the learning. So this is the book that came out of it all, and it's free for you, of course, and it's free online as well. But the physical document, we needed that to say, okay, we didn't just meet online, we did it because there was a purpose and there was a final physical documentation. And what was learned about? Yes, we learned that indigenous culture, food culture in America is based on sustainability, on gathering, all the things a lot of you have talked about today and yesterday, that it talks to a lot of people, even though you don't know your languages and background cultures and so on. Food can gather everybody. So that's something in sustainability. We learned that food from these two regions are harvested in the nature. They're not bought in supermarkets. They are harvested by yourself often. That is sustainability. That is something others than ourselves could learn from. How can we produce more ourselves and reduce CO2 and so on? We learned about the importance of preserving culture, Greenlandic culture, indigenous North American culture. We learned about innovation as a way to preserve the culture, because the guys who made the recipes in these books, they're youngsters. Yes, they have family members who are older and who know the traditional ways of cooking, and they know how it's presented themselves. But can we make it in a visualization and a context that they can understand that is now 2023? So we learned that preserving culture is also in the innovation of making the culture updated. Yeah, as I said before, we learned how food and interest in general can bring people together. And we learned to cooperate across borders and how cooperation breaks down the borders, basically. And that was the most important learnings in the book. I'm not sure every recipe can be 110% translated in your own kitchen if you want to try it, because it's not really professional recipes. It's students who train to be chefs, receptionists, everything, waiters, managers in the hospitality business. So they are on the way, and that is also something in the recipes. It's on the way. Yeah, that's basically the whole idea and the framework, and how to make an alternative exchange program. In the end, which you can also see in the pictures in the book, the students actually got to meet each other in South Greenland, which was a very big blast, and we had bonfires, cooked seal, whale meat, and other things from the Greenlandic food culture. So yeah, that's basically how we did it, and how we did it without so many money to fund it all. Thank you to all you guys. You have been very inspirational sources to me. I'm proud to represent Greenland, especially, and of course also the US in the book. It's not often that we get to commercialize Greenlandic culture like we have an opportunity today. So I'm very happy about that. And thank you all of you. I will take a lot of what you have said home. It's been a learning process to me, and I will, as soon as I get to Greenland again, transform it into something that I can tell the stories I learned here from you. Thank you to Edward and the Gourmand Cookbook Awards for the invite and the nominations. Thank you to our co-partners in the US, Tracy and the University of Southern Maine. And thank you to the funding, Arctic Education Alliance, for bringing the idea of an alternative student exchange program to life through the funding and gathering of us all. And thank you.